The views of the guest are that of the guests and do not represent nor reflect the views and opinions of the Lockoutmen channel, the Recruiter Call channel, nor its host. This site content is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only.
I got this email that one of my subscribers or viewers, thank you very much if you're either or. You have a serious question that I know a lot of you other drivers can relate to. My guy Jeff reached out with a heartfelt situation that many CDL holders with a past record can face. Check it out. He got 2.5 years of CDL experience, 6 months OTR, 6 months local. He has a clean driving record with no accidents, no failed drug tests, and no major issues with companies. However, Jeff has a federal conspiracy charge from 2019, and that has been making it tough for him to land a good job in the trucking industry. So
before we get started,
Jeff's question boils down to this. Should he take a job with one of the companies that offered him a position, even though they had bad reviews and bad reputations? Or should he step away from the trucking industry as a whole and try to find something else?
before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for listening. And first off, let me just say this. Jeff, first, I appreciate you reaching out to me, bro. Thank you very much. And I hear you, my guy. The trucking industry can be tough, even for drivers that have spotless records, man. But I want to remind you, you're in an industry that's going to always need drivers. The demand for CDL holders to the consensus is still high. And being that your record is clean along with your experience makes you a valuable asset to the right company. You hear what I'm saying? The right company, my guy. That said, I know having a record in your background can feel like a massive roadblock. But there are companies out there, though, that's willing to give you a second chance, regardless of your situation. The key is persistence, my guy, and finding the right fit, not just settling for the first company that comes knocking at your door. Now, you mentioned the 3 companies that have offered you a position. First company, controversial company, Super Eagle. The second one is Beverly Freight. And the third one I never even heard of, Navistix. Google, can I get some help with this?
Navix.
Thank you, Google. Navix. Never heard of that company. I'm going to have to look that company up. And I'm assuming it's a Black Ops company because, again, I never heard of it. Is it an Illinois company?
Hold on.
Google, can you tell me where the company Navix Trucking is from?
Navinix LLC is a trucking company based in Cincinnati, Ohio, operating since December 2019. They manage a fleet of 100 leased tractors and trailers, providing general freight services across interstate routes. The company emphasizes timely and smooth shipments, supported by a skilled team and 70 drivers. Positive reviews. An experienced driver shared, "I'm an experienced driver and working for Navinix LLC for 6 months, and everything is good. I never feel alone. They have a 24/7 support team. And I'm making $1,800 to $2,200 weekly." Another driver mentioned, "I am working with Navinix since March and have never been treated better in trucking companies I have worked before. I am taking home more than $2,000 every week after all the expenses." TruckersReport.com. Negative reviews. A former employee cautioned they don't pay, and if they do, it's not much. They claim it takes 40 days to process a final pay settlement. You have been warned. TruckersReport.com. Another review stated, "Not a fan of the pay system. Holding checks up to 3 weeks if you don't make gross. Making up excuses every week on why they keep taking out money from your check. Indeed."
So you guys could go and check more. So let's get back at it. I understand seeing negative reviews about these companies that can make you hesitate. I get it. But there's something about reviews though. Let me just break that down. People are more likely to leave a review when they're upset and disgruntled than when they are satisfied. Ever notice the ratio between the two? That's why you got to take reviews with a grain of salt, okay? So instead of focusing solely on the reviews, dig into the details of each company and what they have to offer. Look at the pay structure, the home time, the quality of the equipment, and how they communicate with drivers. These factors right here, my guy, will tell you a lot more about whether a company is a good fit for you. As you mentioned, Beverly Freight, and that you have seen the MTC on them. If you feel like they might be a good option out there, out of the three, it might be worth considering. But make sure you ask the right questions before signing that dotted line. And don't just jump into a bad situation because it feels like it's your only option. Let's talk about your background, my guy. I know it can be tough to address in applications and or interviews, but here's how you can approach it though. Be upfront about your past, man, but focus on the steps that you took to make it right, to rebuild your career. Employers definitely respect honesty. And if you can show them that you are reliable and dedicated, like you already been doing by keeping your CDL record clean, they're more likely to give you a chance. Now, I know you've been looking. I know you said you've been putting in the work, but sometimes the grind just don't stop. You got to keep doing it until there's no other options to keep doing it. And let me just stop the show right here. There are more than just trucking companies that you can apply with your CDL. There's buses, there's school buses, there's dump trucks, garbage trucks, even the city, my guy. So check out those other options right there when you run out of options in trucking. Also, don't hesitate to apply to smaller companies. And like I said before, apply to second chance companies. I know that second chance companies, they like to treat you like garbage. But if that's the only way to get in and get your stepping stone, maybe about 6 months to a year, maybe it might be worth it. They often have more flexible hiring practices and are more willing to work with drivers who've been faced with challenges before. It's all about finding the right company, though, that values your skill and experience over your past. Key factor here, that values your skills and your experience. Now I know 90% of the companies out here don't value that, but 10% of the companies do. You also brought up the idea of working for a black ops company versus working for a domestic company. I get the hesitation, my guy. There can be a difference in communications, the culture, but not all black ops companies are bad. Not all of them, just majority of them. Just like with any company though, domestic or foreign, it comes down to the specifics of the job. If a black ops company is offering you fair pay, decent home time, a good working conditions, then don't dismiss it because of what you're heard. Take the time to review the contract, talk to current drivers or former drivers. Just take it with a grain of salt when you talk to them, if you can. And with that information that you got right there locked, you can use that to make an informed decision. My advice, Jeff, I honestly don't like giving advice, so here's my take. Don't give up on a career, not just yet. First, give it your all if you could. You worked hard enough to build your skills and maintain a clean record. That is something to be proud of, my guy, because a lot of us out here don't have that. We do got jackets, man. If these three companies don't feel right, keep applying. Keep applying, man. Look into regional, look into dedicated routes, look into local, and look into ones that I mentioned earlier, which might give you more home time. Reach out to CDL schools, man. That's something that a lot of people don't do. They don't realize CDL schools is rich with information. They're connected with companies that you might not even know about. I'm still connected with my school. As a matter of fact, I probably might just go and visit them one day this year. Look into driver forums or even LinkedIn to network with other drivers and companies that might be hiring. You got it from here, my guy. You got what it takes to succeed. You just need to find the right opportunity that fits you. And trust me, my guy, it is out there. It is. To wrap things up, Jeff, I just want to thank you very much for sharing your story. I know it's not easy to talk about these challenges, but you're not alone. There's a lot of drivers in your situation. A lot of drivers have faced similar obstacles, and they found their way through. The key is to stay persistent, focus on your strengths, and keep pushing forward, my guy. And remember, for anybody that's watching this, I do appreciate you guys, so make sure you share it. Just remember this: if you're in a similar situation, your past does not define your future. The trucking industry is tough, but it's also full of opportunities for those willing to look for them. I'm just going to leave this right here. First, thank you, Jeff. I really do appreciate you coming on. And for anybody else that has questions like Jeff, you can send it to the email. That's lockoutmenpodcastguest at gmail.com. And if, of course, it's an interesting email, and I'm sure it is, that's the reason why y'all sending me emails, I will make a response podcast to it. Thank you very much for listening. Make sure you guys share this video. Until next time, everybody.